All right, welcome back to another episode of Card Landing. It's been a crazy couple of weeks since we did our last episode, but I wanted to start off with a special guest that we have here joining us, who's actually right beside Adam Jr. This is my daughter, Aria. So Adam and Andrew's little sister. She is our Disney, along with my wife and their mom. She is our Disney fan. She's been cracking a ton of the new 2026 Disney Tops release. We've actually picked a few mega boxes. We've done quite a few blasters. We actually wanted to do a hobby box, but there's no even guaranteed autograph in there for the price. So we had a hard time justifying. I think it was going for $650 or something at the time.
Mhm.
If there was a guaranteed autograph, maybe I would have considered buying that, but that's just a little too much. Anyway, Aria, you've had some big hits. You want to show those off real quick?
Yes. So I'll just show one of the numbered cards I have. It's like a
A Wreck-It Ralph.
out
What's that?
of $3.99.
Nice. It looks like a refractor, pink refractor.
Yes.
Really cool.
And then there's like these 3 full arts that I got.
Those are the big boys. I don't forget the variation, but I think they're each worth over $100 if I had to remember
This
right.
one I think is like $200
$200 or $300.
Forget.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Those are 3 big hits, and you got all of those, I think, in blasters, didn't you? The little boxes?
yeah,
Those are so cool.
these 2 I got in the same box.
And you also are trying to do a set completion. How far away are you from having the entire, like, normal card set?
I only have like 30 more I need to get for
Dang,
a
that's
set.
wild.
I think there's like 200 total, so I
That's
got
super cool.
most of them.
Yeah, so her and her mom have been doing a bunch of cracking. You actually cracked a little bit more today even.
Yeah.
So that's been super fun. It's been really cool to see those in Target and around. They seem to be readily available. One of our local card stores here actually has quite a few of the boxes. They're a little bit higher than market, but it's always good to support your local card store. All right, Aria, one final question.
Okay.
What are you going to do with those 3 cards that you have? Like, are you going to keep them in your collection?
I'm gonna keep them, but if they get like super the prices like rise a lot, I might sell them. I don't know.
All right.
Keep them.
Wait.
What are you doing? What are you doing with all your duplicates? Are we putting those on our eBay store or shop or anything?
Yeah, we're putting them on our eBay, right?
Yep, eBay.
Yeah.
I
Cool,
wanted
cool.
to ask, what's your favorite card out of the batch of cards you have right now?
Right now?
Yep.
Probably the Alice in Wonderland one.
Alice in Wonderland.
That is a really cool one.
It's the anniversary of it, so they came out with
Super cool.
That's pretty
Well,
cool.
Aria, thank you for coming and showing us those. Appreciate you doing that. I know, Andrew, you have also been cracking a little bit of Disney cards. Have you pulled anything big that you're excited about?
Hold up, let me grab them real quick.
So while he's grabbing his cards over there, Aria, is there anything that you're looking for? I know you've been trying to hunt like some autographs, but you still
Yeah.
haven't cracked any yet.
I have. I want a Moana autograph really bad.
That would be sick.
Yeah, he got the
This was my
Alice in
best
Wonderland number.
hit.
Alice in Wonderland, it's numbered.
It is numbered, 72 out of 101.
That's an interesting
Yeah.
number, 101.
And then
That's
I
cool.
did some Marvel openings, and I got this guy.
All right, yeah, let's segue over to Marvel now. Ari, did you have any Marvel cards?
I don't.
Okay.
All Adam and Andrew.
All right. Well, Aria, thank you for joining us. Bye.
See ya.
Okay. So also a couple days ago, there was a Marvel release, the Marvel Topps card, July 1st, 2026. Today's July 3rd. Andrew, show off your big hits that you were able to pull from that.
26 out of 39 on that
The
guy,
Venom. That's
on
super
the
cool.
Venom. And then I got these 2. Adam grabbed the rest of my cards.
Very
But
cool.
these are the ones I liked that I wanted to keep.
And you guys, you cracked one blaster box, right? It's what you ended up cracking, Andrew, to get that card?
I think so. I don't forget what it's called, but
He also
Yeah.
got...
It's like one of these boxes, right? Yeah. I think these are just called blasters. And they come, basically you end up getting 4 cards in each pack. You get 8 packs. So you get 32 cards in here. The pull rates are pretty tough. Like, so getting a numbered card in one of these is actually, it's a really, really fortunate, especially getting a low numbered one to 39. So Adam, you
Yeah, it's
cracked what,
crazy.
5 of these
I
or
cracked
4?
4 boxes.
4 of those. What'd you pull?
So here's some of my favorite characters: Iron Man, Spider-Man, Hawkeye, Wolverine, X-23 that I got. Those are like basic cards, but then I got some more expensive cards. Like this is like the promo from the blaster boxes, like the special card you can get from them.
Oh,
I
that's
got
sick.
2 of them. Sadly, I didn't get the Gwenpool one that came out. But then I got the special anniversary Fantastic Four Human Torch guy, Johnny Storm, and then Sue Storm, These like the background's so sick. I love
Yeah,
it.
those are awesome.
And then I got 2 Galactus
It's interesting you
and
got a
Doctor
duplicate.
Doom. Doctor
Yeah.
Doom is so sick.
Yeah, that is a cool card.
I'm curious if the price of my Doctor Doom cards will go up because of the Doctor Doom movie coming out. Well, like the big Avengers Doomsday movie. I'm assuming that's going to go up because like for comics, like whenever there's a cool popular movie with a character coming out, like all the comics of those prices usually go up. So I'm assuming the same thing's going to happen with cards, but we'll just see what happens with that.
It's
So
really going to
that-
depend on the print run of these things and like how many actually hit the market to see what the price does.
That's a good point. And then I got 2 numbered cards. This guy's so sick.
The spider web ones. What is that one out of? Is that $3.99 or is it?
Yeah, $3.99.
I actually really like the way those things look. The black spider web on there. Those things are super cool. Moon
Very
Knight.
sick.
It's really cool. You got them all sleeved up.
Nope.
You need to get those things in penny sleeve, buddy.
No. Who needs to
So-
sleeve cards?
The other thing that has happened recently is the Pokemon Partner Series 2. You picked up a box. I picked up a box. I actually did not open these, but these are the 3. So Adam and I traded. I ended
We
up with these
traded our
3,
3.
but I opened the ones that Adam's got. He opened these. I actually
That's
really
funny.
like these. I probably want to get all 9 of these at some point.
These 3 are my favorite.
But it's really cool that we cracked 2 boxes and got 6 of the 9. But I still got to work on that a little bit.
And that came out just a couple days ago, didn't it? June 19th, actually. Okay.
So it's been a little bit now. We just
Yeah.
finally found some in a store to pick those up, and we actually got them at somewhat retail price. I think they were $25, $26, which
And the other 2 packs I opened actually both had hits in them too. So that was pretty cool.
mine did not. I actually got busted on that end, but it's okay because I like the 3 cards you get in the middle there. So Adam, let's go back to the Marvel set for a second here. This is a new set. It's a Topps Chrome set, so it's a higher end. The cards actually are thicker stock. What do you think of, like, you've cracked some of it now? I know you were talking about actually wanting to get more. What do you think you're going to do? Are you going to actually try to crack more? Are you going to try to pick up some singles off the secondary market? Like, what's your plan with Marvel?
So honestly, since I got like 6 of those 65 anniversary Fantastic Four set, I was really thinking about buying the Thing and Reed Richards because that would be cool to complete the set for that. I might buy those, but it is also very tempting just to try to crack for those too. I kind of like that idea more, but that costs a lot more money.
Yeah,
like,
could you
I
probably
did-
buy the cards for a couple $. I don't know what they're going for, to be honest.
Yeah, I
but-
did buy Johnny Storm from Andrew for $5 because that's what it was selling for on eBay. So the cheaper option would be to buy them, but it's more fun cracking, right? More fun.
It is. It's just not usually a good monetary return unless you hit
Yeah,
something big.
Just for
and
fun,
then
you do it for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got to be part of your entertainment budget. Andrew, are you going to crack any more Marvel?
Yeah, I probably will. I'm just saving up some money right now, but it's definitely
Same. I'm
fun opening.
I'm in a similar boat. I actually cracked, and you guys will know this because I have a ton of cards that we're going to list for completing your set. So I'm pretty big about doing sports completion set. So I have a bunch of like old sets that I love just building out the full set on. And I cracked a ton of the 2026 Series 2 Topps. I think they printed this thing a ton because they're still pretty readily available. You can walk into sports cards shops and get them. I think the pull rate on them is actually pretty atrocious. Like with how many cards that I've actually pulled, the number of big hits that I've got is actually insanely low. I did, unfortunately, well, I don't know if it's unfortunate or not. I did get a redemption card though, which I thought was super cool. So I got a redemption for an autographed of Jerry Seinfeld, first pitch autograph. I think it was out of 1. Oh, actually, I don't even think it was numbered, unfortunately. I think it's just a Jerry Seinfeld autograph. I got to find the redemption card. I have it sitting around here somewhere. And then one of the other big cards I pulled is another Jerry Seinfeld out of 150, the Bluewood, not autograph. And honestly, a lot of the cards just typically don't have a ton of value. I did pull one image variation, which I actually really like the way it looks if I can find. It's unfortunately not a big name player, but like these cards are actually really hard to pull. And I pulled one home field advantage from a really good name, Cam Schlittler, who's a rookie. Hopefully he ends up playing well. So definitely hard to make your money back on those sets if you don't pull the right names. The names you're looking for are like Murakami, even though I think he might be injured right now. But we will be listing a ton of those cards on eBay for super cheap, so be keeping an eye out for that. We have a ton of the normal, I like completing the Titans of the Game set. I like completing the Stars of the MLB. We have a ton of refractors, a ton of retail exclusive, a ton of hobby box stuff. a few relic cards, stuff like that. So be checking our eBay store for that. I know Adam was actually very surprised when I showed him how many cards we have to get through to get listed, because it is a very time-consuming thing to do, unfortunately. We're trying to make that a little bit faster.
So yeah, he just left 2 boxes sitting on the table. So I grabbed those and I organized all those. And like one day I was like, this is easy. And then the next day he came back and said, Adam, you didn't go through all the cards. I was like, wait, what? I did. And he showed me like 8 more boxes of them.
Yeah.
With like tons of more boxes too, just full of them. Like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, and I've got them somewhat sorted, like at the base together. The funny thing is those have some short prints in there. Like Carson Bench, for example, is a short print. I did not pull a single short print in all the things I cracked. I was really hoping to hit one of those. I am happy I hit the home field advantage, though. That helped a lot, because those go for a couple $100, sometimes upwards to $400 or $500. So I don't think I'm cracking any more of those. I think I'm done with the top 2026 Series 2 update. I'll probably pick up singles to complete everything. But we will be helping, you guys out with some cheap cards. And typically what we do is for the complete your set ones, you buy like 4 or 5 of them, you start getting pretty massive discounts. For us, the biggest cost, honestly, is the time and the shipping that it takes to do it. So we just have to make sure we cover that. And typically we don't make a whole ton on each card based on that.
So
All right.
I would like to talk real quick about like the Marvel Topps cards, Disney Topps cards, and like the sports, normal sports Topps cards. And my theory is that Disney and Marvel might even be like more popular than like sports cards. Because for me personally, when I open any Marvel pack, I'm like, man, I know all these characters. I love them. They're amazing. Same with Disney too. Grew up watching Disney, and a lot of people are like that too. But then for sports, people are opening packs and they only want specific players or specific teams, and there's like a lot of players out there. So then I think it's like kind of like less enjoyable to open those from like my experience opening some sports packs. What do you think on that?
You're not a sports guy. So put it that way. I think sports is enormous. Like, it's way bigger than the Marvel and Disney card space. I do see what you mean, though, because I can open up a box of baseball cards and you only know a handful of the players, because there's a lot of people that are coming up that may even still be in the minor leagues that got called up for one game. Could be a bunch of players on teams that you don't actually follow. When you open a Disney pack, you probably know most of the characters, and you probably know most of the Marvel characters. Sometimes you don't. I mean, sometimes there's like some obscure characters. So I get your point about the enjoyability of opening it, but sports is just way more popular. There's much more like secondary market demand for it. There are people out there completing sets. There are people out there that are speculating on players. There are just a ton of like really cool inserts and variations. So I don't know, Andrew, do you have a thought on that?
Yeah, I do see your point, Adam, though. Like, I think I have more fun opening those than sport packs in my personal experience, even though I know more about sports. But there's so many different variations. There's so many different players, so many different things. So a lot of the times I open it, like, even like football, like I pretty know about football and stuff, but most of the time you don't really get anything good. But like Disney or Marvel, like that's kind of what I grew up with as well. It's more nostalgic, nevertheless. Like I love the Packers and I love sports. I think there's definitely more demand right now. But I'm interested to see how the market evolves, because this is brand new, right? Like the trading cards, this is brand new. So nothing against sport. I love sports. I have sports cards. I've graded sports cards. I'm always going to be a fan of sports, but I am interested to see how big the Disney and Marvel market goes. Like more and more collectors get in there, because you got a lot of different fan bases that can come together on these cards from Topps. So it will be interesting to see.
Yeah, I think it will be fun to watch. I feel the same way about Pokemon, right? Like if I open a Pokemon pack, I know every Pokemon that's ever been made. Even the most obscure ones, I recognize them. I maybe can't recall them off the top of my head, but I know them. So maybe Pokemon is actually very similar. The thing that's with like the Topps Chrome or even the Disney card is the cards are just awesome. Like even the base cards look good.
All full art, good quality.
Some of them are, and then you get like the extremely awesome cards. So it's like really awesome and then super awesome. Where what makes it tricky is like a lot of times you'll open a pack of Pokemon, you'll get like a potion, and it's like okay, that's cool, but that doesn't bring as much joy as like if you open up a Spider-Man,
a jumbo ice cream. Boom.
Yeah, or jumbo ice cream. Yeah.
You just
Like
had
these
that
are
on
these are
standby.
cool, but then I open up a Tyrantrum and I'm like, oh, that's awesome. I love Tyrantrum. And these are the types of cards I like playing with. So when I'm playing the game, I typically am looking at the abilities and things like that. So I enjoy that from the Pokemon standpoint. Whereas like the Disney cards, you don't play with them. So you kind of need them all to look good. And the same thing with the Marvel cards, you don't play with them. So you need them all to be, good quality cards people are excited about actually opening them. I don't know. I actually thought Marvel had been out a few years. I'm going to have to do some research on that. I thought they had done Marvel last year, and I thought they had done Disney last year, but maybe I'm wrong.
Not that I know of.
That
but
was like, I think that was like news from like the pre-release where you can actually start buying like the boxes like now, like the pre-bid whatever for it.
Yeah, I'm going to do some Googling over here just to off to the side while we talk about this a little bit more, because
So
I'm
while
super curious about that.
like every single card's free. Like this is a
so
number card, but still, like I did research, and the common or the base card looks very similar to this. The only difference is it has the number. So like still the base card looks pretty much like this card right here. So all the cards, in my opinion, look pretty good. Even like the
Yeah.
base cards, they're all full art.
And so cool fact. So I know for a fact that some of the base cards, they actually use the same art that they use for the comics, like the variant cover, the arts of them. So like I pulled a Black Cat, and I have the exact comic. I think it's like issue number 7. I forget exactly, but it's the exact same art of her, like her posture sitting down. And I was like, whoa, that's kind of cool.
That's
So they're
cool.
grabbing like comic art, put them onto cards. And so the
Yeah.
people that love to collect just comics just for art, like I could see them really getting into like the cards too.
That's what I
'Cause
meant
if
by
it's-
like different fan bases. The comic,
Yeah.
that's the first thing that came to my head. I didn't want to say it, but comic fan base. Then you got the Marvel fan base, the Disney fan base. People are just, that's a lot of people.
Yeah,
That's
and there's a lot of people that are really into X-Men, Fantastic Four with the new like special like anniversary of them. Avengers pretty popular too. Like you're having
All those
lots of people
people
coming in. Yep.
All right,
flood
so
in.
here it is. 2024 was the first year the Marvel cards came out. So that was the first time that they ever got the license to print Marvel cards. They did it in 2024. They had them in 2025, and then this year in 2026 they have it as well. So this is the third year for Topps Chrome Marvel. So it is fairly new, but it isn't the first year that they've actually been printed, which I didn't think it was. I didn't know 2024 was around, but I knew I remember seeing 2025. The boxes of these things go for a lot of money though. So the 2025 one on eBay right now, I don't know what their lowest price, but I'm seeing them go for like $500 each. And how many cards do you think are in the hobby box, like in that price? How many cards do you think are in there? And remember, this one is 32 cards.
Yeah.
The double?
Guessing, like,
64?
50-ish maybe.
72. I felt like that was low actually. I was actually expecting it to be a little over 100. So you would need to spend quite a lot of money.
Wait, you said double. I didn't hear you.
72.
72. Okay. I didn't hear you.
Yep, no, 72 are
500.
actually in there.
Are you like
One
guaranteed
additional
anything, like some parallels?
It does not look that way. Like from the image that I'm seeing here, I don't see any guaranteed. Look for ultra rare, indestructible cards.
Wait,
This
how
is-
much was it to buy it in 2025?
I don't know. So think about that per card. What is that, like $8 a
man.
card? $6 a card? That's a lot of money.
That's a
That's so
lot of
much
money.
So
Sealed, man.
I'm curious, man, how much these things actually, how much the secondary market will carry these going forward. And there must be some big chases in there. I don't really know. Like you can buy a whole like hobby box case for $4,000 some dollars. That's so much money. All right, I think that's enough Marvel. I think it's actually been fun, like seeing you guys get excited about the Marvel stuff. Speaking of Marvel, I know Magic the Gathering also released Marvel Superheroes just a few days ago in the end of June. Adam, I know you were thinking about getting some of those. Did you ever pick up any of those cards?
I did not. So like I was really debating getting the commander decks or the borderless like scene cards with the heroes or like the villain ones too. But it's just a lot of money, Like the commander deck, one commander deck is $84. And I can't justify that when I when I don't even play the game that much. I need more people to play with for me to justify that price range. Like for Pokemon, I can easily just pay $30 to get a deck and get some cool cards out of it. But for Magic, it's like so expensive in my opinion.
Is. It's so expensive.
Yeah.
And there used to be a time back when I played Magic where you could buy box of Magic cards, and if you sold every card in it, that was like over $1, you could actually sometimes break even or make your money back. I don't think that's the world anymore unless you get like a big hit. Like the value of the reprints and everything, that keeps like driving the value down. So it's actually really hard even to want to like crack raw Magic cards. Like I have a bunch of what do you call those? Jumpstart packs over here that I like every time, once in a while, just cracking. And Star Wars Unlimited is kind of the same way. We actually have a ton of Star Wars Unlimited like packs that we have ready for like some game nights that we may do one day. And it's tough with Magic. And I have so many decks already. I think I probably have, I don't know, 30 to 50, somewhere in that range of Commander decks. Some I pre-made, some I pre-bought. Like bought put together. I have the same problem. I look at it and I'm like, $85. That is just so much money for one of those decks. I don't know. If you're gonna collect it though, it's a cool collector's piece. But to play with, it's a little hard to justify in my mind.
Yeah, I have to agree. Like collectors wise, if you're just collecting it to maybe sell later one day, I think that could be worth it for sure. I mean, some commander decks though have dropped in value though. So I've bought a few from like some really small card shops that I got for like $20-$30.
They
'cause,
do.
like, no one wants them. I play
Yeah.
with them though.
Yeah, I had the same. I wonder, I think the Marvel ones, I think the Warhammer ones, I think those are probably going to hold value pretty well. I don't know if they're going to go up in value, but they'll probably hold well. The other notable set, back to sports, that I've had a hard time actually finding in stores is the Topps Platinum. And I've been able to crack, I think, one box of them so far. And I didn't really get anything great, but it is such a cool looking set. It's a throwback to like the old vintage sets back in the day. And though, like, you guys were at a card shop today and they didn't have any in stock. You almost have to buy them online. So I'm really curious if anybody's finding those around in their local game stores and stuff. I feel like the print run on those must be very, very small based on what we're able to see like around our area. All right, let's jump over to a couple of news topics that I think are interesting. The first one, now, we've had theft happen. We've actually had cards stolen from us. There are people that try to scam you on eBay. There are like all this bad stuff that actually happened. The one thing we don't think a lot about is at card shows. You know, when you're walking around with a ton of inventory, some of these people have $1 million in inventory. Like I've been to card shows where it's just ridiculous the amount of high-end stuff they have. When you have that stuff converge, you know that's going to become rife for targeting. Anyway, there was an issue recently where a guy and his dad were leaving a card show. I think it was in New Jersey. And they had about $150,000 in Pokemon inventory. And I think it was around $12,000 in cash. They were targeted by two men and held at gunpoint, beat up a little bit, and their inventory was taken. That is scary. I mean, there's two things to that. Like, one, you've got two people. You think you're a little bit safer because you got a buddy with you. Someone pulls a gun on you, though, it's over. You know, you're not
Game
gonna, you
over.
just give up what you got. The other thing is like, man, they must have had some high-end Pokemon inventory to have 150,000 with them at that moment.
And $12,000 cash too, if I remember correctly.
Yep, and we don't have any inside information or anything, but they almost had to have been targeted too. So my assumption would be someone knew to look for them and watch them. So someone probably was walking the show, saw the inventory they had, saw them come out, drove their car up, jumped out, knocked them down, held a gun, took their inventory, and ran. Like, it is unbelievably scary. And this is happening more and more and more, you know, at smaller scales. You walk around even with $5,000 worth of cards in your binder or your case, someone could snipe that from you and you're out. I mean, that's a lot of money. Even $5,000 is a lot of money. So my question is, with card shows and the amount of money that's moving into this, how do we protect people that are going into the card show, and how do we protect vendors? So Andrew, let's start with you. What are your thoughts on security and how we, even as folks that do this, could prevent it for ourselves?
So one thing that I saw, that we went to a card show actually, like a pretty big one, and what they had is everyone had their own time slot for vendors. So you drive up your car or whatever, they had security sitting out there so we can load out all of our stuff into the show. And then when we're leaving, we're supposed to drive our car back over there and we can load our stuff back in and we can leave with security guarding us. Like, if places did that, we'd be safe. We'd be fine. Well, mostly safe, you know. I mean, we have security at least watching out, but for some big events, like, they don't have that. Like that makes it really hard. Like, you almost need to call the place and have, like, their own security guards come out and, like, walk you to the place and back to your vehicle in situations like that. Yeah, if someone has, like, a truck, they can just open up the back end and grab everything, like, just follow them around and just grab everything they want.
I mean, that's a great point. I didn't even think about that. Like, this could get to the point where people are being followed out of the venue, even if the venue protects you getting in your vehicle. If they know you have $100,000 on you, like, there's no reason they don't like try to get you when you get to your house or a gas station or something. Like, it's super scary, honestly. And I don't really know the answer. I do. I mean, I'm not a big fan of having to say this, but I do think, when we go to card shows, we may have $20,000 in inventory, maybe tops 30,000 of inventory. And even that, like, if that was stolen from us, it'd be devastatingly bad for us. Like, we're not 150,000, but if we had that taken, like, that would be awful. Like, it would basically put us out of business. We probably wouldn't be able to recover from that. So I have to feel for these two people that had probably most of their inventory stolen. And this could have been like a father-son, like, business that they were building together, doing Pokemon selling up high-end stuff. And it's really sad that it happens. And more money comes in, I think that's going to be rife for, like, more of this stuff. I do think what you said, Adam, that security, that show, I forgot about, like, they actually had security there. Kind of watching that. That was actually really good. We were not very smart when we left. We actually wagoned our stuff all the way up to the parking lot. So thinking about it now, we probably wouldn't do that anymore. Even though there's 3 of us, you just never know. All right. So anyway, there is one other news topic I wanted to kind of bring up with you guys. So this one is a post office related. So we've had so many reports from people that we know in the community and ourselves where cards just vanish in the mail. Now, this is a particular story that actually has, I would hope, a happy ending, where an individual ended up buying a really high-end card on eBay. $3,600, I want to say, is what it was. That card was sent to eBay authentication. It was authenticated. It left eBay authentication. The package was all sealed up. It got back to the individual's home. The individual opened it, and the box was empty. There was no card inside. So what does this tell you? It tells you that someone was looking for this PSA box. They knew what they looked like. They knew how they packaged them, sniped the card. So this individual monitored everywhere they could to see if this card ever came up on sale. It actually did. It ended up coming up on sale on eBay. The individual reached out to the post office and authorities. The authorities went undercover and claimed to be a buyer that was interested in the card. The seller was willing to sell the card for like $400, by the way. They had no idea the value of the card, which is also kind of wild to me.
Very wild.
And then, so what ended up happening at that point is the authorities went undercover, said, hey, I'll buy it from you. Let's meet up local. And the person was arrested. And this is all alleged, right, at this point. So I don't think any criminal things have actually been filed yet. So anyway, my thoughts here are, this isn't the first time. I think there's actually been hundreds of cases of felony. I think it's a felony crime for stealing out of the mail.
Yep.
So Adam, what are your thoughts on this? I mean, it's a happy ending, hopefully, but it's a real problem. I mean, one of the things I think about is, like, if you have eBay authenticating cards and the boxes always look the same, that becomes a target. Like, is that a place they should change? Should there be more security around, like, the postal workers? What are your thoughts on that?
So beforehand, I had no idea that was even a thing. I was just thinking, like, even for us, we had some cards that got eBay authenticated. I was like, oh, that's good. That means it's definitely going to get there. It's going to show that we're legit, sending real cards to people. We're going to, like, get our money for sure. Stuff like that. I never crossed my mind that it could get stolen from people that worked with them, like that's pretty scary to think about. And I don't really know any ways to combat that. Like if the delivery person themselves is the thief, there's like hardly any ways to like prevent them from doing that. You just need to try to get them afterwards. Because like even if you have it where you need their like signature for like really expensive like cards, like that, if the item's already gone, there's not much you can do. I think maybe what you need to do is even have the authenticator like box it up themselves. I don't know how they do it exactly, but if the guy boxes it up and like have a bunch of random different sizes or whatever, maybe they can like just try to trick them or dupe them with stuff like that. Or
and I was thinking, like, they should almost put boxes inside of boxes inside of boxes.
yeah.
Because, like, what makes it easy for postal workers, they can, like, slice it open, take the card out, and zip it back up. But if it's a box in a box, that makes it a little bit harder for them to do.
I was
secretly.
also to add on to you, I was also thinking like for us personally, we put our QR code up with like the tracking ID right on the front. So then when people try to rip it open and try to like make it look like it got stolen, like it's really hard. You need to try to cut on the other side instead and whatever. But what if they had like the tracking on every side of the box? So then everyone knows if someone cut it open, it got tampered with because no one can like fix that. There's no way to fix that. So if they do something similar with having like special tape that only they have, like that can maybe help.
That would, but still, like, if it gets to you and you see that, what do you do about it? Because someone's already stole it at
Yeah.
that point. So it's such a tough problem. Like the postal, it's like that's the place you feel like you should be able to trust. It feels like you should be able to trust the post office. I've had situations where, we're kind of in a computer apocalypse right now where computer prices are like super high. We went through a similar problem back with crypto and all that stuff that was happening. But I bought some RAM at the time. I think I bought 128 gigabytes of RAM. That 128 gigabytes of RAM, I think it cost me like $400. Never got to my house. It's just gone. But I mean, where did it go? Like, I don't know. So I ended up talking to it was Newegg at the time. They sent me a new one, but that cost them money. Like someone had to pay that money, whether that was Newegg or FedEx. This was FedEx at the time. Or maybe it went to the wrong house. Maybe it was a legitimate problem. But this stuff is like, it's really tricky. Anything that's high value going through the post office is clear. Like, it makes it really, really tough on determining, like, how do you prevent any of that thievery? So it makes me think, Adam, we probably, like, for our high-end stuff, we have to be, like, kind of strategic on how we pack our stuff a bit.
To add on to that, so I actually don't want to say how we package it, just in case, but we actually got a package back that was actually tore open. Like someone used a knife and cut open the back and grabbed the cards out. Luckily, it was only like $1 card, so they got nothing out of it basically. But it was still a bummer for us because we still had to refund the shipping and whatnot, all that stuff. It still hurts us. It didn't hurt us that much, but it still hurt us. And if
It
we have
could have
that
hurt us
happen
big
enough
time, though.
times, yeah.
Yep, could have hurt us big time on that. So it looks like, Andrew, do you have any thoughts on the post office thievery that's happening? If not, that's all right. Looks like he might be having some technical problems. He might be having some technical problems over there. But anyway, I'll give you one more chance, Andrew. Do you have any thoughts?
You guys probably
You
can't
might
hear
not
me.
be able to
Can't
hear
hear
us. We can hear him.
Okay,
You can't hear
that's
us.
all right. So we'll mute him for now, and we'll keep moving. I think we're getting near the end of the episode here anyway. So, Adam, do you have any closing thoughts about everything we talked about? Like lots of cool stuff, building our collections. Is there anything that you'd want to kind of talk about a little bit more before we shut this thing down?
There's 2 new things that did come out that we forgot to mention. Oh no, we talked about the Series 2 Pokemon. Never mind. But we do have the Royal Arena. I don't know if you guys heard of that card game, but it's you can think of it kind of similar to like Pokemon and Magic. But instead, they like make cards based off of popular anime TV shows. So I opened up a few packs today from Target, and I did get a few cool hits. Like this is from that time I got reincarnated as a slime, and I thought that was pretty cool because I watched that show, been watching it for like 6 years now or something like that. So I thought it was a cool idea. Never even heard of that before. The Royal Arena Company. The
Yeah, I wonder
card
if the
game,
game's
whatever.
any fun.
Yeah, I don't know
Yeah.
if it's fun.
It's tough because there's so many card games that are coming out. Like even One Piece, for example, it seems to be cooling down. Like the more I talk to people at card shows, it seems like the at least secondary market's cooling down. I don't know if that's true. Like globally, it's probably not fully. I'm also curious, like, is the player base growing? And then if we introduce a new card game like that, like I'm curious, like how it's gonna do. There's just been so many card games that have come out, like MetaZoo. That one died. Maybe it's coming back. Keyforge, that one's died. Tried to come back a few times. I think it might be dying again or dead again.
Do you think that this one's a little different though? Because
Okay.
they're making cards based off of TV shows that's been around for many years. They have huge fan bases for it.
Like
So then
One Piece.
yeah, that is true. One Piece, but like this has multiple TV shows, like multiple high end like animes that have been coming out, like Attack on Titan, super popular. Like this show's talking about, and a few other ones that I'm blanking on right now. But like if they keep doing more stuff like that, keep bringing in more fans from different shows, I think it could at least try to like stay afloat maybe for a little while. And the packs are fairly cheap too. They're $5. The packs aren't, or not packs, the decks aren't that expensive. The hardest part is definitely trying to find somewhere to play with them though, because you don't see them throwing events at your local card shop for those
Not
types
yet,
of games.
anyway. That's
Not
the tough
yet.
thing. It's sort of like this ecosystem that you need. You need this ecosystem for those types of card games where you have tournament scenes or places to play. Then you need a secondary market, which means they need to not overprint the heck out of them. And then some of the cards need to actually have some value to right? So there needs to be some of that. And then there needs to be people that want to collect, that really like building sets or really just want to build a binder of the cards. And if you look at it, like I think Pokemon kind of has the best of that
For sure.
ecosystem. They have a really good secondary market. They have an amazing collector base. Their weakest venue is probably the people that play the game, but there's still like national tournaments and world tournaments, and like there's card games at like 3 or 4 of the card stores here in our town like that actually play it. So people do play that game. I play the game once in a
I do
while.
too, yeah. I
Yeah,
want to add on to Pokemon also does something different where they have the QR codes where you can scan it right into the game to get those packs. Like
digital.
Magic doesn't do that. Like all the other games we mentioned today doesn't do that too. So I think that's what really sets them aside, having that, already having an online like place to play those games. Like for One Piece, for example, I wanted to play the game, but they don't have anywhere for me to play. I need to go off to some like off-brand site to actually play the game myself.
Yeah,
And
or you got to find like a card shop that's got. And there are a couple that I've heard in our town that have like small like game communities for One Piece, but it's not as big as Magic, for example, and I don't think it's as big as Pokemon either. Because I know there's like several places that do like Thursday night Pokemon here in our town.
I do wonder, like, is the way to succeed at making your own card game having like the online version come out at the same time the cards do, you know? Then if people get into it, they can actually play the game. Or is it like what people have been doing, release the cards, see if it's popular, then make the online game? Because I mean, it does save them more money, but I feel like it also hurts like the people that want to play right away if there's nowhere to actually play it, is my
It's
thing.
so tough because Magic started with no online presence. Pokemon the same way. Then you look at games like SoulForge Fusion, which had decks that you combine together to actually, you basically take 2 decks, you put them together. Really kind of fun game to actually play. They have an online client, and that game still, I think, is pretty much a failure at this point. There's not many game people playing the client. So you have a place to play, but it hasn't become, and here's where I think they missed too. Secondary market, they don't really have one. You buy the collecting. Again, they don't really have one. So they literally took one of the circles. Like you don't go to build a binder full of SoulForge Fusion cards because and same thing with Keyforge. I think it had the same problem. Keyforge had some interesting things where like your decks were a little bit more collectible because there were like super rare things that you could get in your deck.
Like
But
the
even
Four
that, I don't think
Horsemen.
like the 4 Horsemen was something people always hunted for. But that wasn't enough, unfortunately, to keep it. So I think if you're building a card game today, it's how do you have a good collector base? So how do you have cards that people want to collect? How do you have a fun game that people want to play? And then how do you have cards that have some value so that people have some incentive to go and like crack packs to try to actually put cards in the secondary market? And it just really does feed this like flywheel of game. All right, that's a really good point. It'd be interesting to see if you end up playing that game and if you like it. Curious about what your thoughts are when maybe you can tell us next episode that we do. All
I'll
right, I think
try.
that's a good place to stop. It sounds like Andrew ended up having some technical difficulties, so he'll catch us in the next one. Appreciate you all, but if you don't mind and you want to support us, please check out our eBay store, Card Landing HQ. Check out our cardlanding.com website, and we also have a TCG player store called Card Landing. And also like and subscribe. We would love to have conversations with you in the YouTube comments on, what you like, what you don't like, what games you're interested in, etc.
Also, tell us if you want us to talk about any certain topics. Like if you want us to talk more about like the Marvel Topps cards, Disney, like any like obscure card
Sports,
games.
Pokemon, we do it all, so
Yeah.
it's fun.
Yep.
We do
Even
everything
board games,
cardboard.
maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. All right. Till next episode. Peace out. Later.